If you clicked on this video, you probably think Fate is super complicated. But Fate is not complicated. It's been memed to oblivion by tons of YouTubers and content creators. Content farming the OMG, Fate is so long and confusing. I don't want to read a visual novel in jargon for over 6 years now. And it all started with this video. In Fate, there are these Ankh mages who made this fucked up war called the Holy Grail War, where mages summon and use legends from history as weapons to obtain the Holy Grail. And the Holy Grail is basically a device that can grant any wish. Not really though. Okay, back to the main topic. Tourists love to argue that Fate is a mess, but it's just blown out of proportion. Sure, there's like over 80 pieces of Fate media, not even counting the other related works like Tsukihime and Kara no Kyokai. But what Fate does is similar to other large franchises. For example, Star Wars. There is no way you are going to understand Star Wars by just watching a few movies. But as you continue watching, you gain a deeper understanding for the series, and everything ends up making sense in your head. There's a ton of other examples like Final Fantasy, Star Trek, the Marvel Universe. Like, my god, have you seen the Marvel Universe timeline? But not many people care about an optimal watch order for Marvel movies. Fate is just another show with a ton of content. That's it. Video over. No, but for real, I see so much content on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and okay, I won't say the majority of it is about how hard it is to get into. A lot of it is just silly edits and stuff, which I do like, but a lot of the content is just watch orders, man. I'm tired of seeing the explaining Fate or Fate watch order for the 400th time. There's tons of content to be covered in Fate about lore, character analysis, power scaling, etc., which should be what's talked about, but all the content that's actually being fed to us is just, OMG, Fate's so hard. Me dumb. There are two big reasons why Fate is hard to get into. The first reason is because the Fate route had a dogshit adaptation. More on that later. The second reason is the only other recommended entry is the Fate Stay Night visual novel. If you want to start Fate optimally, you start with the visual novel. But that doesn't mean it is for everyone. It's long, in a format that a lot of people aren't used to, and most of all, it's just daunting. So why does the anime community think Fate is confusing in the first place? Okay, before going into this next section, let me give you some background. When I was a young lad, I'd scour the endless plains of the internet looking for the next great anime to watch. Watching shows like Mob Psycho, JoJo's, and Attack on Titan. Going through mal databases, forums, and YouTube recommendations until one day, I got a notification for gigguk's new video. Trying to understand the Fate series. As a big gigguk fan, I clicked that video faster than the fucking speed of light. And my goodness, I regret watching it to this day. I had no idea what Fate was, besides a few memes, and this was my first introduction to the Fate series. My tiny little brain exploded. Seeing how involved Fate was portrayed in gigguk's video made me think Evangelion was a simple children's show. So I booted up the best anime site ever made, rest in peace, God bless you, and watched Fate Zero. I watched like 8 episodes and then dropped it, because I had absolutely no idea what was going on. Then my mind was set in stone. Fate is just too hard for me. The video that Gaunt made explains Fate in the most convoluted manner possible. Of course, the video is meant to be a joke, and I knew that, but I think subconsciously your brain starts associating stuff from videos you see. That was not the only video that was published about how complex Fate was. Tons of YouTubers hopped on gigguk's clickbait train to get hella views, but it caused a domino effect, making the general consensus of the anime community the very same: Fate is complicated, ruining Fate for new fans. So now, new fans go to Reddit, Discord, and other communities to look for the best watch order instead of actually watching the fucking show. I too was a victim to this. Fast forward like 5 years, I was reintroduced to Fate by my friend through the Dean adaptation. And I was hooked. Yes, you heard that right. The Dean adaptation, the magic association, magic system, heroic spirits, noble phantasms, historical aspect, and oh my god, the world building was phenomenal. But what really hooked me was Rin Tosaka. Before I watched the Dean adaptation, my memory of Fate was completely erased. I still only had the Fate is confusing thought process, but thankfully, I had forgotten all of Fate Zero, which helped me go into it with a semi-open mind. Unpopular opinion. The Dean anime was not that bad. It is, of course, a bad adaptation of the visual novel, but it was still fun to watch. It has some good scenes and an amazing soundtrack, which I personally enjoyed. I was pretty scared of watching it though, because people were complaining about how bad it was, which is like, no. I have just finished the Fate route in the Fate Stay Night visual novel, and even though I haven't finished all 3 routes, it's still an incredible experience. As someone who has never tried a visual novel before and has always kind of been averse to playing them, it was really fun playing through it. Reading an amazing story, listening to an awesome soundtrack, and most of all seeing more depth in all the characters is what really sold me on visual novels. I completely understand why people say to just read the visual novel now. Fate Stay Night is quite literally perfect. Slowly getting to know the characters throughout the 3 routes builds an attachment to them you never would have expected to have. I went into the Fate Stay Night visual novel with the mindset of, I've already watched the anime, how different could it be? Then I got to the final day of the Fate route, and then cried. By the way, if you think this is a hate video, it's not. I love Garnt. Bro is one of my favorite YouTubers and my inspiration for making this YouTube channel. So this is just a rant. Don't hate on Garnt. He's amazing. Okay, video actually done this time. Fate isn't complicated, and go watch or read Fate. Goodbye. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you. This is my first long form video and I worked pretty hard on it. So if you enjoyed it, do the usual, subscribe, like. Thanks.